Hey, what's up, Willa? Okay, so great session today. So we got a couple increases and a couple adjustments here. And I just wanted to make a quick video. We'll adjust that as needed. Um, okay, so number one, you're working that blue band, right? And the seated knees pulling apart, right? So make sure that the band, when you're seated, is on the upper part, right? Or the bottom of the thigh, right? Just on the upper border of that kneecap. And you're still going to do those nice steady openers, but let's just keep it to 8 reps, right? If you're going to use that harder band, I think it's great, but I really want to be careful that we don't flare up that bursa. So let me know how that goes. We're going to do 8 reps of that, 2 sets of 8, and then we'll move on. So you'll pop that off, okay? Number 2 is the standing hip flexor stretch. And that's the one where you got one leg in front of the other. Right? I'll show you from the side. Your upper body is nice and vertical. You got a good tail tucked underneath. And you're just going to hold that stretch by going forward. And that's going to create a stretch on the front aspect of the hip. Now, one thing I think that might be helpful is if you do that in the hallway. Because when you're in the hallway, you won't have to worry about balance. Your hands could be on the wall, and you could really just focus on the stretch. Okay? Now, that shouldn't be a pain in your low back. It should stay right on that front hip flexor. Okay? So still 60 seconds per side. Do it in the hallway. If it's too easy, you can always lengthen your stride to make it harder. Okay? Then we had number 3 is still going to be our rocks. And I'm going to bring this down. That rock move is so good for your body, I think, right now. And you're still going to do 10 reps where you're rocking back and coming forward. But we're also going to add in 10 additional rocks where you come back and you reach out with one arm. Bring that hand back, reach back, and now go with the other arm. So you're going to alternate reaching with those arms 10 times, and that'll be 5 per side. That's going to challenge you a little bit extra. So I would do 1 set of normal rocks, and then 1 set of reaching rocks, and call it good. Okay? Then from there, our number 4 and number 5 were our walking patterns down the hallway. Sounds like you've been doing amazing at those. I want you to keep that up. But what you and I talked about for our walk is that, let's say you've been going 20 feet with your walk. I want you to make it go a little further. Just to get some more patterning and practicing of swinging that arm for a longer distance, right? In theory, we want you doing that all the time, right? When you're walking down the hall, when you and Walt go outside for a walk, same thing. So the longer duration you can have that as a drill, the better. Okay? So that's walking progression 1. Walking progression 2, we did with the light green band around the knees, and you'll be facing a wall with your hands up. And so still keeping tail tucked under, abs in, you're going to get 6 sideways shuffles. If I show you from this front view, right? It's 6 toes pointed forward, staying up tall relatively, not arching the low back. And you'll go 6 out, 6 back, then 6 out again, right? And then 6 back, and that's 1 set. So 2 round trips of 6 shuffles. Take a break, maybe do the forward walk again, and then come back for a second set of that side to side. Same thing, 2 round trips, 6 out, 6 back. Okay? Outside of that, then for our number 6, we had the kneeling 1-arm reach. And we bumped that up a little bit. So let me double check here. Yeah. So instead of the kneeling one arm reach that you had going, which is looking good. Now, you're going to stand against a wall. Your feet, it looked like they were about 8 inches, 10 inches away from the wall, right? I'm still going to pull my abs in, tuck my tail underneath. And so my low back's not smashing against the wall, but it's close to the wall. There's a little space, but not much. Then my tail should be connected to the floor or to the wall. My shoulders should be connected to the wall, but my head doesn't have to be, right? What I want there is to be as long as you can, chin tucked, have a long neck, right? Once you're there, hands by your side, elbows straight, we're gonna go thumb side up. How high can I reach without losing contact with the wall on either of those landmarks? And I go up again. And so for that one, we're going to do 2 sets of 10 reps. So I'll get a set of 10 here. Right, chin tucked. Then I can take a moment, walk around, break, and then I'd go back to the wall and do another set of 10. Okay? But that's the beginning of giving you some feedback and making you hold your spine kind of in a set position. Up to this point, we've been allowing your body to adjust to make whatever the task is successful. Now we're starting to kind of tighten you down a little bit. So those are the movements I'd like you to play with over the next few days. Hopefully I'll see you either Thursday or Friday. And you could do these movements every other day. In fact, start on Saturday doing them and then start skipping. I think it's great that you're doing the elliptical. But before you go out to do the elliptical, the 2 things I want you to do is those rocks, okay? And they could even just be the basic rock pattern that we were going forward and back. Those looked great. So 2 sets of 10, right? And then the other thing I'd like you to do is that hallway hip flexor stretch. Hands on the walls, right? Show you from the side. Tail tucked under. Good stretch for the front of the hip. Yep. Those 2 movements I'd like you to do before you do any elliptical. Okay? If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next week, Willa. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Bye-bye.